I can't remember the last time I physically saw this man. It's been too many years. The last time I saw this man on television was during a basketball game, and yet for most of his life, playing hockey was where he made his indelible mark. Alongside men of distinction in Toronto sports, this man who was the heartbeat of the Toronto Maple Leafs for nearly a decade, and its version of Wolverine when he got mad, there he was, half court at a Raptors game, posing for a pitcher. I owe a personal debt of gratitude to Darcy Tucker because at the beginning of my career, he helped me out extraordinarily. So I am happy to be joined by Darcy Tucker on the Cabbie Presents podcast. Thank you very much for being here, sir.
Wow, that was awesome.
Oh,
I'm blushing underneath this great beard that I have going right now. My face is very red.
Guy, when was the last time you were clean shaven?
Christmas?
Oh, actually?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I was clean shaven at Christmas. I make my wife happy at Christmas, and that's about it.
And that's the gift that you give to her.
Exactly. Around her birthday, because her birthday is on the 23rd of December, so I keep her happy.
Oh, so wait, how often have you doubled up gifts?
Yeah, I quite often, unfortunately, for my pocketbook. But
right.
Oh, well.
My brother, his birthday is Boxing Day. So there are times where I literally
that's trouble.
I'm sorry, man.
Just one.
Just one. You're getting a double up.
Yeah.
So like back in the day, for people who don't know, when I started this, groundbreaking, award-winning, it was neither of those, this segment called Cabbie on the Street. I think in 2002 was the first time I walked into the Toronto Maple Leafs dressing room. And it was probably something stupid like, what did you eat? Like, what do you eat before the game or something? And, I obviously didn't look like any of the other media in the room because I was in a T-shirt, baseball cap, sneakers, just this chubby guy with a microphone and a camera with him. You, your teammate Wade Belak, God bless the dead, and I think actually at that time I don't think Brian McCabe was on.
Yep,
the
he was there
at the time. In like 2002.
Yep.
Okay, so it was the three of you guys that gave me an interview, and then every time since that I walk in the room, there were times where. Like you and Kaberle, as you called him back there, didn't want to do meeting for anybody else. But however, you would come out and just give me 5 minutes for whatever stupid question I had. So I appreciate you very much.
It was like fresh air coming in the locker room. You were. Sometimes you answer the same questions over and over again, and it becomes like the monotony of the day. And then you get this thunderbolt of lightning that comes in the locker room and brings up your energy. That was you.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
Are you sure it was fresh air that I brought in?
Well,
I have a certain fun.
No,
now.
You're good. I got a smell of you today when I hugged you. You're smelling good, buddy.
For the first time ever. I was. This is a strange place to start. Okay, because you're from Alberta.
Yep.
And in the early 2000s, for most of the 2000s, you wore the blue and white sweater. And in that era from like 2000 to 2010, a rock group from Alberta came to prominence, and they were globally famous. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, like, it just turned. We're like, and I'm talking about Nickelback.
Yep.
There's rumors that there's like a skating rink at Chad Kroger's house. Have you been there, or have you been to his house?
No, but I do have two things. Chad and I went to school together for half a year when I came back from playing in Red Deer when I was playing minor hockey. So I know
like
Chad.
High school?
Yeah, I know Chad very well. And the other story about Chad, I was in Vancouver on a road trip. Andrew Raycroft gave away my leather jacket, so I didn't have a jacket leaving the bar, and Chad gave me his to take home with me because I was going to freeze. It's a pretty cool story.
That is a cool story. I'm sorry, you gave away your leather jacket to
I
whom?
didn't give my leather jacket away. Andrew Raycroft, so you do a prank on your buddy for the first road trip when you were with the Colorado Avalanche, and they gave my brand new leather jacket, by the way, to a homeless guy outside the bar.
Wait, okay, which is a very nice gesture.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That homeless, that's a $3,000 jacket.
Chad ended up giving me his jacket to take because I was on a road trip, right? And he was just there visiting. So.
Did it fit?
No, it was a little short.
I think he's a little bit taller than you.
Yeah, he's taller than me, but he's got a little more slender build.
Fair. How did Raycroft get your jacket?
Well, I went to the coat check and saw it and got it out. And
wait, did it have the Tucker 16 on the back? Like, how did he know it was your jacket?
No, he knew because they had this prank set up for like a couple of days, what they were going to do. So, yeah, I got him back. I'm not going to tell you the story about how I got him back.
We need to know when the redemption comes into play.
I got him back. It's not for the podcast.
Oh, my goodness, man. This is exactly for the podcast. One of the more standard pranks I heard was just guys would move the furniture out of another dude's room before, and I feel like maybe Bozak told me this, or maybe Colby Armstrong when Colby played for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Somebody got all the furniture in the room.
We did it. So McCabe and I took...
Oh, you guys did it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so our last... We kind of saw the writing on the wall when I was playing for the Leafs. Our last road trip was to Montreal, and we went out for dinner, and McCabe and I excused ourselves from dinner and went back to the hotel and took all of Tomas Kaberle's furniture and put it in the washroom.
That's exactly the story. Yeah.
And he went back. He went back to his room that night, and there was not any lights. We took all the light bulbs out and everything, so he couldn't even turn the lights on in his room.
that may have been the highlight of your year. Like that sounds like you guys were just laughing, just joking the whole time.
It was a long, tough year. It was the start of kind of like when guys were starting to leave the team. So it was one of those things you kind of left Cabbie with a lasting memory of us.
I think maybe, and then I did see you in Colorado the next year. I came for the playoffs, and then you were like the Wily veteran. You had a bunch of young dudes. Duchesne, Chris Stewart, Voltek Volsky.
Yep.
Who else was on
Ryan
that team?
O'Reilly.
Ryan, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Ryan lived with us. He moved into our basement. We housed him for the first year. He was. It was kind of look into the future of what it was like to have an 18-year-old son. I have one right now that he keeps his room the same as Ryan did at that time.
Did Ryan? I imagine neither your actual son or your surrogate son had to pay any rent.
No, I didn't charge him rent, and I'm actually I should have hinged it to his last contract in
should have had some points.
Buffalo. I should have had some points or whatever on that one. I should have hinged it to that, but no, I didn't charge him, and he's a good kid, well-rounded, from a great family, and great leader.
Speaking, and you guys had the misfortune of playing like arguably one of the greatest lineups ever in the Detroit Red Wings. So they had like 5 Hall of Famers. I think Lidstrom and Zetterberg and Datsuk. I don't know if Holmstrom might go to the Hall of Fame, but Chelios was on it. Like just stacked. It was gross. Okay, speaking of young kids, so the other day I was talking to OG Anunoby, who's a rookie on the Toronto Raptors, and he has the unfortunate assignment to guard the best player on every team that they face. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering if this analogy makes sense. In a hockey sense, being on the penalty killing unit, basically playing the other team's best teams. Yeah, does that?
Or I would say it's like playing against, if you're Nazem Kadri, playing against Bergeron and Marchand the whole night.
Okay,
I would say that.
In your career, what were the assignments that you had, or were the lineups that you faced where you had to play like the other team's best, like legit superstars? In the NHL?
I would say that fell on the shoulders of my brother-in-law Shane more than it fell on my shoulders. Shane would always go against the other team's best player, especially at playoff time. He was the guy to shut down like the Yashins and the Alfredsons and the guys of that ilk. My job was to drive everybody else crazy on the ice. I was the kind of the
agitator.
Yeah, the stir of the drink, as you would say. And but I enjoyed that. I enjoyed my roles as a hockey player. I enjoyed every moment that I played the National Hockey League. It doesn't last forever, so when you first come in the league, you're this bright-eyed, bushy-tailed kid, and then when you leave, you're the wily veteran. But man, I enjoyed it.
You're the predecessor to Brad Marchand, basically.
As
you mentioned him just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. That's pretty flattering if somebody's giving me that high a compliment, because I think he's a pretty good hockey player.
However,
even though I'm a Leafs guy, I should be saying he's a pretty good hockey player.
No, he's a great hockey player. The thing is with you guys, man, like just hockey players in general, you guys are so tough. Like I just saw Toffoli got a puck in the face. I think Nick Foligno, puck in the face, and those dudes return to the game. Have you ever gotten a puck in the face?
Yeah, I broke my cheekbone when I was in Tampa. Jamie Heward hit me with a slap shot from about 8 feet away.
Oh!
Crushed my cheekbone. So I knew right away once it happened what had gone on. I've been hitting the face with a puck. I've had a few stitches.
Did you return to the game, though?
There was no returning from that one that night. My face swelled up. I couldn't even see it in my eye. So I'd love to have returned. But I couldn't.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys are wired that way, man. Yeah. Like, and there aren't any others. The only way that you guys don't return to games, I guess, if your vision is impaired, or if it's like ankles. I think ankles like the only thing that will prevent a hockey player from coming
something
back.
like torn ligaments or things
Sure,
of that nature.
too.
But I mean, if it's just a nick or a cut or a broken bone in a place that it doesn't really matter, you're back out there.
Salute to you, man.
Thank you.
Salute to you.
I had a good career and it was a lot of fun.
I think when I first interviewed you, I believe the topic was, what's your pregame meal? And I think it was like yours was just like either just coffee, like a couple of cups of coffee to get you up, or even like a Red Bull. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, so...
or did you deviate from, I started with this and then...
No, like I had a pregame meal ritual, but when I got to the rink, I think this is where you're going with the story, is when I got to the rink, I would have a half coffee, half Coke mix that I would drink before the game, and that was kind of my go-to each and every game as one of my superstitions that I had. So it wasn't the best tasting thing. But
that actually sounds disgusting.
But it got me through the night, right? So.
And then Logan was activated. You're very much like, you were like, Hugh Jackman is probably like 5, maybe like 6'1".
Yeah.
But the character Wolverine in the comic books wasn't that tall. He's like 5'7". And
really?
You were, yeah. And,
so I'm somewhere in between. Works so well.
But it's the fury in which you played, which separated you from your peers or whatever. And you could also score goals. But it's the crazy thing about it is like I feel like you would fight anybody, or could fight anybody. Is that accurate?
Not out of wanting to do it, maybe out of like having to do it because I got myself in a position where I couldn't get out of. I don't know. Like I grew up on a farm in Alberta. I'm a Western kid, and
did you name your animals?
I left that up to my brother. He was more of the farm name the animals sort of guy.
What were some of the names of the animals at the house?
I don't know. He would name everybody. Like we had a dog named Tippy. We had we named his cow. I don't know, something. We had all kinds of names for things. I tried to block that from my mind because that meant I actually had to do work during the day. I just wanted my hockey stick and puck and playing in the yard. I left the rest of the other stuff up to my brother.
Now, you mentioned superstitions, and you're here today on behalf of Frosted Flakes, which in my opinion is the top 3 cereals of all time.
Yeah,
I did this. Yeah. That's like it's literally in there's a box in my the cupboard above the fridge.
Yep.
Alongside other Hall of Fame cereals, Captain Crunch and Golden Grahams. That's the. I don't have a 4th for the Mount Rushmore, but those other 2 are there.
Well, I'll tell you what. Kellogg's Frosted Flakes for me is the number 1.
You say Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, or Frosted Flakes?
No, I say Kellogg's Frosted
You
Flakes.
have the full government name of the cereal.
Because that's what it is, man.
Okay.
It's not. You can't just say the Maple Leafs. You got to say the Toronto Maple Leafs, man. That's what it is, right? Yeah, and so I enjoy the cereal. I eat it when I'm watching games. I'm a Kellogg's Frosted Flakes cereal guy in the morning, and I have it right before I go to bed.
Yeah, I'm with you too. Like the late night, 2 a.m., just murder like a bowl or a couple bowls. I'm more of a pig than you are.
I can be out with my buddies, had a nice dinner that night, and get home afterwards, and I'm filling the bowl with my Frosted Flakes.
Jam Jams.
Change first, guaranteed, and then straight downstairs to the island, and I'm into the Frosted Flakes.
So there's a website called Greatness. Beards.ca, greatness with 3 R's.
Greatest?
Greatest?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Greatestbeards.ca.
Yep.
Excuse me. And so there's a contest where people can win a trip to the Stanley Cup Finals. Is that correct?
Absolutely. You take a selfie of yourself with one of the beards and you post it, and you can win a chance to go to the Stanley Cup Finals.
So wait, you don't have to grow. You're not on the hook to grow your own full.
No, you can.
Brent Burns.
See, it just works this way. I got a beard, but if I want to change my beard up, I go to this one. I can go this one like this, the long beard, right?
I don't think I would have been able to get you to do that like 10 years ago.
Like there you go. Like look at that beard. I was saying earlier, I saw somebody put this beard on, and they should grow a beard. Like maybe you should try it.
We did a video the other day, and I was testing out 4 different beards.
Yeah.
It was Joe Thornton's because he's got a little salt and pepper like you.
Yeah.
It was Patrick Laine, who's got that sort of Amish Mennonite kind of vibe going, like
neck sort of beard,
like the movie Kingpin. Remember Kingpin?
Yeah.
Was it Randy Quaid who played the Amish? What a great, so underrated bowling movie with Bill Murray and Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting who's the lead in
Kingpin, but he had the hair that flipped over.
Yeah,
the
Bill
top.
Murray did.
That's
Yeah,
right.
like Woody Harrelson and Kingpin. And then we did Mitch Marner, who just had he just
two hairs.
He just one hair.
One hair?
And then Crosby, who was just kind of like a patchwork of a beard.
That's 3 Stanley Cups worth of podcast.
Well, yeah, you're right, because Thornton doesn't have one line.
Yep.
Yeah, right. You're 3 Stanley Cups right there.
There you go.
Was there now? I think Bob McKenzie told me once that he believes they kind of started in the either late 70s or early 80s with the Islanders. Do you remember when playoff beards
absolutely
started?
Because I remember watching those series when I was about 6-7 years old when the Islanders were playing the Oilers, and there was playoff beards in every one of those series. And I don't think Wayne would have one because he couldn't really grow one either at that time. But you saw like Randy Gregg had the beard that played for the Oilers, but most of the Islanders always had a beard. Yeah.
When did the playoff beard become a thing, though? Now you say Wayne Gretzky, and I don't think Messier in '94 with the Rangers had one. And I'm trying to think, like, even the I mentioned Red Wings earlier. I don't think Lidstrom.
And some players like to have a beard, and then if they got down in a series, they'd shave the beard. Like some players have different superstitions that work for them. I was grow it till the end. Too bad I didn't get all the way to the end. I would have loved to. That would have been the ultimate in the city of Toronto. But
oh my gosh,
it happens, right? But yeah, it was. But I had other superstitions that I had beyond the fact that I grew a beard. I drive the same way to the rink. When I got traded to Toronto, I used to drive up to my mother-in-law's restaurant the night before a game. I remember scoring the first playoff game in 2000. I guess it was 2000. And then the next night, I had to drive all the way back up to Barrie and eat up there again. And I scored in game 2.
Oh,
so
sick.
It's like basically you gotta do what's working in the playoffs.
So wait, but when did that one end though? Like were you at some point?
It ended when you start having kids, and it's like you can't get them in the car to go up to Barrie. So
that's a long trek too.
Exactly.
That's like for those who don't live in the GTA. That's like an hour.
Yeah,
hour
it's
and a half
about
away from Toronto?
well, yeah. So you go up there. It takes you probably about an hour and 10 minutes. Then you have dinner. It's another hour and 10 minutes, and then you're on the way back. That's a lot of doing things mentally and physically that maybe you should be resting a little bit more the night before a game as opposed to. But it happens.
I saw a video the other day on that the NHL released, and this is just out of a random tweet. The way that you put on your button up, do you go buttons? Do you button from the bottom up, top down, or middle out?
No, top down.
There's so many dudes that go bottom up and then middle out.
How? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Makes zero sense to me.
There's a video, and there's like 30 dudes in the video.
There's certain, it's like taping your stick. You cannot go toe to heel on your stick when you're taping. You got to go heel to toe. It's just, there's certain things in life that just only make sense one way. And the shirt thing only makes sense going from top to bottom. Like
listen, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. I think I was watching Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who Matt Sundin, your captain, he was a huge Latin guy. Mm-hmm. He's a Swedish soccer player. He was on Kimmel, and before he joined the LA Galaxy, but he had this one-page ad in the LA Times saying, it just said, I think it was Dear Los Angeles, you're welcome. Yep. At the bottom, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Who was the guy that you played with in your career that had as much overt confidence as Zlatan Ibrahimovic? Who would do something so bold to say you're welcome to an entire city because he gave them the gift of himself? Is there a guy?
I don't know if there is a guy that I played with.
Or maybe perhaps then played against if there wasn't someone in your room.
Yeah, but I didn't know the guys. I didn't want to know the guys I played against.
That's fair. They're all
I didn't want anything to do with it. But I would say that we, as hockey players, are confident people. We have to be confident people. I just don't know about the full-page ad. Right. Maybe a small little blurb in the corner saying, I'm glad I'm here. But I mean, maybe not a full ad. But hey, God bless. You got that much confidence. And then I think he went out and scored 2 goals.
Yeah, in his first game, he did.
Yeah. And took his shirt off.
He did? Yeah.
I don't have that much confidence. Definitely at this age, to take the shirt off.
Listen, in 01, I'm sure you were just ripped. You look probably just like Wolverine, like Hugh Jackman's character.
Yeah, or like a milk. Yeah, I was like the milk guy. I didn't have very big arms.
Down. Okay, no, there was, and I can't think of the team, but I'm sure there were some doughy teammates that just the body fat percentage was a little bit more than it should have been.
True.
Okay, so I found a couple of stats.
Stats. You're an analytic guy now, or?
Yeah, this is This is the depth of my research.
Okay,
Darcy.
perfect.
And I took this from the wonderful people at Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
Okay.
77% of hockey fans would wear the same socks up to 3 days if they thought it would help their team's chances. I have two more. 55% of millennial males say wearing their team's jersey is good luck on game day, and 35% of millennial males won't risk getting a haircut while their team is in the playoffs. As a long-time
two out of three
athlete.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 ain't bad there.
Yeah?
I
Which
just
are
don't-
the two that you would do?
I don't know about the sock thing. I don't
I
know.
feel like they're hockey socks. Like you're not your regular ankle socks you're wearing with sneakers.
Even then, like I know guys that would change their socks in between periods in a game, so they go through 4 different pairs. So after warm up, after the first period,
Come on.
and get it into overtime.
Who would do that?
So Scott Hannan, I played with him. He would change every period.
Come on.
Brand new under stuff. So I don't know if that would work because some guys change everything like in between periods. Now the cutting of the hair, that I can understand. Like if things are going well, you're not touching the hair and you're not touching the beard.
Right.
So that I'm good with that.
Was there a guy that we mentioned Line and also the 3 Stanley Cup Sidney Crosby, where the beard is just, or maybe their hair is like, and it's a superstitious thing they want to hang on to, but where it got so woolly or so like gross, we just like, bro, like what are we doing here?
Well,
like let's have a moment of truth, a full transparency, full honesty.
It's the guys that actually after the playoffs that keep it on that shouldn't keep it on for a couple of days after the season, like when they're doing their exit meetings and there's the season-ending interviews, and I'm like, dude, as soon as you lose out in the playoffs, you shouldn't have that anywhere near your face. Like you need to get that off immediately. You need to go here. I'll give you the trimmer. You go and then get it fixed.
Were you the realest dude in your dressing room? I feel like someone that could say anything to anybody.
Yeah, I'd probably be out of that group of players, I'd probably be the most honest.
Now, like, is it like blunt honesty where it's like unsolicited honesty, or would you wait until like you pick your spot where you?
Well, definitely with the young guys, unsolicited. Like if they were younger than me, it was unsolicited. Yeah. If they were a veteran guy, they might have to ask me the question first, but then I'd give them the truth.
Fair, that's fair. Was anybody particularly sensitive?
Oh yeah, there's some sensitive people.
Who?
90% of hockey players are the sensitive
people. Do you guys feel like the dudes now are like softer than you guys?
Like I watched some of my teammates, you know, when the videos came out, you could watch videos on the plane. They weren't watching like action movies. They were watching like Notebook and things of that nature. Like there's some sensitive dudes.
Rom-coms.
Just
like very maudlin dramas.
Which is amazing. So I didn't mind, you know, walking around the plane, seeing what was on the videos.
And then what would you comment if you saw a dude? It's the Ryan Gosling. It's raining, and I think they're on the pier. I've never.
Yeah, you take the cutout of the Ryan Gosling and put it on their stall the next day when they came to the ring. You had 3 things you had to figure out, right, just to make sure the boys are on their toes.
That's outstanding. Okay, so I don't know if we got exactly into this. Do we cover the contest?
Yep.
Are you also if someone wins the trip to the Stanley Cup with on behalf of the good folks of Frosted Flakes? Will you be going with them? Like, can they be like, all right, if I get to take a buddy or if I get to take 3 buddies, will Darcy Tucker be available to go on this trip?
Well, let's put it this way. I believe that if the Stanley Cup Finals are anywhere near Toronto, I'll be there.
Yeah, but you're going to be there like as an alumni. You're going to be like every game, like there's going to be a squad of you guys at center ice, either the Wave, all that, because hockey does a great job of honoring its alumni.
It does, yes,
and
absolutely
significant
does, yeah.
Players for their franchises. So you're just going to be here wherever. But what if it's in Nashville or Tampa, as you mentioned earlier?
Could be a possibility. I'm not quite sure how that's going to play out yet. Let's leave that up for debate.
Okay, fair. I'm gonna I don't know.
Are you going
to the Stanley Cup Final?
Yeah.
I have a weird relationship with your sport, man. I don't know. I don't know. They're just like I don't know if I'm like the most. When they see me coming, they're just like, oh my gosh, this guy again.
I love it.
It's well, thank you. I mean, you do, but
some of your best work is with Jonathan Toews.
Oh yeah, I always try to get him to laugh, and it's hard. Every once in a while he does, but then my guy is so stoic. And then just to kind of like to mess with him, I just get like very like even closer because I know, and he's just like, yo, why are you getting so close, bro? Like he's always, and then it's just like because I want to make sure you feel, and that it doesn't always go well. There are a couple of times where I had like this basketball player, this guy named DeMarcus Cousins, who's like 6'10 or 6'11, big dude,
Yeah.
was not having it at all. He's like, bro, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I just want to make sure I can hear your answers. He goes, I can hear you talking to me right here. But Toews, I can get like here.
Then he does it. You got a new buddy, though. What's Aaron Rodgers is your new BFF?
That's my
what's
guy,
going on? I'm rattled. Like, I used to be your best friend. Now it's like,
listen, man, and I thank you. I still owe you. I don't know how I can pay you back, Darcy, but for what you did for me at the beginning of my career, just allowing me to come bug you with questions like, what are you eating? And then like, I don't know, how cool is it to fight at your job? Like just ridiculous questions. I don't even remember what they were. But
I told you off to start. Playing in Toronto can sometimes be hectic, and the same questions are coming to you day after day, and then you get like this energy coming in the locker room, and it makes you feel good. It helped me in my career as well. So.
I appreciate you. Okay, one more thing. So the Raptors were playing the Washington Wizards. Yep. A couple of Wizards guys went to watch the Leafs and Bruins game, and Sadaransky, this guy who plays for Washington, was like the Air Canada Center was like a better vibe than the Verizon. I think it's the Verizon Center in Washington. And I was talking about to another guy about Alex Ovechkin, and I said to him, if he was an American. And everything's the same, his scoring prowess, all the thing, and his big personality. Would hockey be in a better place? Because, you're the culture in your sport, it's like you have a great personality, but it's kind of like suppressed. Mm-hmm. And the guys who have bigger personalities, I don't know if the culture really embraces those larger than life personality types. Do you believe that if Ovechkin was an American, it would be better for your sport? As far as marketability and like just the mainstream audience embracing the sport?
I actually don't. I think I think that it takes every kind of personality, every kind of player, every kind of different sort of skill set to make the National Hockey League what it is. And that's what makes our game great, is the fact that you got all kinds of different players, personalities, guys that can just shoot, guys that can stick handle, guys that can skate like the wind. This is a guy that has an opportunity to score 7, 8, I don't know how many hundreds of goals. He's a star in our game. And it doesn't matter if he was born in Russia.
You don't think so?
Not at all. I think he's just a star in our game. And there's stars I grew up in the middle of Alberta in a town of 25 people. Who knew I'd be sitting here talking to you right now? So that's hey,
definitely not you in like 1989.
It takes all kinds of personalities, and I enjoy the different personalities that go and come with the game. That's what makes our game so good, is the fact that you have all those different personalities.
Yeah, but Darcy, we don't get to see them though. We don't get to meet them. Like everybody's
that's
just like,
your job is to get this personality to come out.
You're right. I'm trying. I'm trying, bro.
I like it.
And I want to be in there.
Yeah.
Just like trying on different dudes' equipment and like
you should. I know some guys' equipment you don't want on. No, you don't want that stuff. No, it's no good.
I want to. You know what? What I might do is like if. I don't know. You know how JVR, James Van Riemsdyk, like has that fluorescent green mouthpiece. He's always shooting. Him and Steph Curry. It's like it's never in their mouth. Even Patrick Kane. It's never actually in their mouths. It's always
we should put some Kellogg's Frosted Flakes in there, and then during the game you could like chew on that instead. What do you think?
I'm down with that idea.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know.
At least try it in warm up.
Oh my God, Babcock would be, or like Lamorello up top with the laser beams would be like so pissed.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's such an old school dude. Well, listen, this has been a pleasure speaking
Appreciate
with you. And it's awesome to see you in real life. And for those listening, Darcy may be available for those who win this trip to the Stanley Cup Finals, courtesy of Frosted Flakes. It's greatestbeards.ca, greatest 3 R's, great, GRRR.
Just like Tony the Tiger says.
Right, and I don't know the rest of the greatest, EATEST.
You got her.
Beards.ca. So enter the contest, and if he's not on the Stanley Cup tour or the trip, then you may, for those who live in the GTA, see this man.
That would be great.
At 40 Bay Street here in Toronto at the Air Canada Center. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome, my friend. Great seeing you again.
Thanks, man.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for having me.